Hey you guys, Wartune patch 7.0 is fully rolled out to all servers, and I thought I would discuss here a couple of things to help you guys out in this dungeon, I guess you can call it. It's sort of like a crypt, or almost more like catacombs than anything, but just with your U-demons, and so I've had, I would say, some success. I'm definitely capping out at level 18. I was really pushing to try and beat this one today. Level 17 was also super difficult to finish, but along the way I figured out at least a couple of things that I think can be helpful for you guys. One is upping the BR. And also, class choice and all of that stuff. At the moment, this is obviously going to be a guide thinking about with just the 10 new demons that we're familiar with. If you guys want to learn more about willpower, and if you're not familiar with how Endless Abyss works, I would go watch Cosmos's video on it first, or go read the blog and familiarize yourself with that, or just try it out. The early levels are not that difficult, but yeah, get a rough idea of what's going on here, and then this is more just like tips for once you're at least somewhat aware of what's going on. Cosmos turned around so much patch content in such a short amount of time, so definitely send him out your thanks and love, because it really, we found out about this patch maybe like 10 days or so ago. It's crazy that they didn't have it on the test server for more than like 3 days before putting it out on the pre-release server. As far as I go, I know I haven't done a video in a long time, and I haven't really updated you guys, but I have a lot of things going on in my life at the moment, and I wanted to do content, but I just really wasn't up for it, and yeah, so I'm just a little bit occupied with a lot of things. And so when it comes to, finding time to game, I do play Wartune by all means. I haven't quit the game whatsoever, but I just haven't really found the will to do videos regularly, edit, upload, and do the kind of content, quality content for you guys that I want to be able to do. So at the moment, I think, if I think of a guide or some tips or things that I think will be helpful for you guys, particularly about, very new content, I'll try and get that out to you. Otherwise, I think the gameplays and the overviews and things like that, I have to really step away from right now. Maybe in the future, when I'm less busy and I have less things, just like in my life, I can probably think about doing more of that again. So with that said, for Endless Abyss, obviously you're going to want a very strong U-demon, or as strong as you can get yours. And so, for your player 1 U-demon, you're going to want your best one that has some AoEs. But I think that's relatively doable for most players. I think a lot of people have their main U-demon, or their one that's built up the best, as either a Battle Oracle, a Wind Ranger, or sometimes a Sanctuary Hunter. I think there are very few, actually, I feel like it's the top players that sometimes favor the Sacred Knight. So I feel like some people have very strong Sacred Knights, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. I don't think Sacred Knight is great for this as a player 1 U-demon, but as a player 2, or any of the comm players, it should be fine. So that's my second strongest one. But at least for me, my Battle Oracle is my strongest. I also think that Wind Ranger would be a very good option, because it has a lot of AoEs and it has a lot of bleeds, and I think that would help with ones like Yaros. At the moment, this is getting very difficult for me. I really struggled with level 17 as well. Actually, to some extent, I think level 17 is harder because a lot of the bosses were hitting a lot harder. For level 18, the real issue has been Yaros. I get these 3 killed, and then I'm down to him. And he just has so much, he's so tanky because he reduces how much damage you deal, or like has an increased defense thing or something like that. It's really troublesome, and so he just builds up so many damage buffs that I get killed eventually. So I think a bleed would be really helpful there, but I don't have any bleeds on my Battle Oracle, and I think that my Wind Ranger is just too small at the moment. I don't have the gear built up completely the way that I do on my Battle Oracle, and just definitely not as strong as the other options. But yeah, and so the other things that you can do to up your BR that aren't super obvious. Okay, the definitely obvious ones, you want good gems and stuff on there. You want your gear as good as possible. Skill damage, or the level of your skills. You don't want to go in, even if you think it's a good idea, or or whatever it might be, to use a certain class, you want to make sure that the skills are high enough level to be used. If they're really, really low level, you're going to notice how much less damage they deal. So for me, I have this Delphic. I usually don't use this Delphic. Actually, this is wrong. So this is how I set it up for this. I use this Delphic, which is an AoE damage, so I'll be able to do that about every 30 seconds. And then Damnation is very helpful here. Deals some damage, some AoE damage, and then increases the damage I deal. I have this at level 6. I also have Centauria, which is good for PvP at level 7. But in this context, I don't think Centauria is very good. And then Rain of Fire, which deals AoE damage and only has a 2-second cooldown, which is great. And then Thunder I also throw in there. And then Restoration is the heal I bring in, which is very important, and also has a short cooldown with only 15 seconds. Then again, sometimes you really want Restoration more often than that, but I think this is a pretty good setup for this. You know, at first I really wanted more heals, and I was like worried that I was going to die, but really you just need to sort of push through because the damage buffs really build up quickly, and you can't be sitting there just trying to heal yourself and stuff. So that's what I do for Battle Oracle. And then the key parts for the BR is actually making sure that you get your best Sylph on there. So at the moment, my Odin is my best Sylph by far. I haven't built up the Holy Sword for Frigga or for Thor. So you know, your Eudemon inherits all of the attributes from your Sylph. So all of these stats that I have on my Sylph, HP, physical attack, physical defense, magical attack, and magic defense, my Eudemon gets all of those stats. It's not like my hero Sylph, where I would only get sort of the passive bonuses and the HP from my Sylph. Your Eud gets all of those stats, so it's a much bigger deal to have your best Sylph on your Eudemon just for this. Obviously, if you're PvPing or doing other stuff, you're going to want your best Sylph on your hero. But for this context, you're going to want to make sure that you have your best Sylph on your best Eudemon and the one that you're using for player 1. So that's definitely key. Another thing that's that you can think about, I was really trying to, you know, just find a way to be able to beat some of these levels. So it will look really strange here that I have magical attack gear on my Odin. Usually I have all physical attack on Odin. I think that naturally the game is telling us that strength and physical attack is more important for Odin because they assign points directly into some extra points into strength. But because it's attached to my Eudemon, it's actually better for me to have magical attack and magical attack, refinements and divinity souls attached to my Odin. So this is the set of gear that I usually use on my Frigga, but I put it on my Odin because that's my best Sylph, and he has other stats that are going to be helpful for my Battle Oracle. And then on my Frigga, I attached my physical attack gear from my that I usually use on my Odin onto my Frigga, which I have attached to my Knight. I could put Divinity Souls in there. It's not really a big deal, and obviously at this point I'm already at the point where I only have one Eudemon and then 4 bosses. So this has been a real struggle. I'll go ahead and show things. You can't move around this formation, but you can actually change who your player 1 Eudemon is mid-level, if that's something you can do. You know, for me, it's just too obvious that I have to use my Battle Oracle. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm wondering if I've left out anything that I wanted to mention, but it should be all right. So here, I start out with Rain of Fire, and what I want to do is be able to get a Damnation in, and then while that Damnation lasts, use this Delphic. So I don't use it immediately. I do something like this, Rain of Fire, and then Thunder, and then I get in Damnation. And this lasts 3 turns, so I can get in like a Rain of Fire and then one of these Delphics, and I'm good to go. So I should be able to beat these 3 guys without too many issues, but this Yaros has been such a pain. So yeah, he has physical defense plus a 50%, and then magical defense plus 50%. There's my Damnation on there. So this Delphic is very nice. I don't have it leveled up. I still don't think it's that important to level these up. You know, I think Books of Wisdom are pretty hard to get in large quantities. You can always sort of pick away at them, but it's very hard to get them in substantial amounts. So it looks like I'm in a bit of trouble here, and I am. But even so, you sort of have to push through. You don't want to heal too often. You know, you really just heal when you absolutely have to. Which I actually might be getting close to that. Alright. Hang in there. Alright, so I used my Damnation. Obviously, I would have liked to use a Rain of Fire, but I am going to be able to use this Delphic while the Damnation is on, so that's good. And these bosses will start to buff up eventually, and start hitting harder, and that's when Yaros becomes a real problem. I didn't pot up at the moment, so I don't know really how this is gonna go. So potting up, you know, using scrolls or even the T's and stuff helps a ton, because anything to your hero is gonna help these U demons. But I definitely think this is just something, you know, you try and get as far as you can and then just blitz it for a while. If you get like a new smelt equipment level or something and really improve your player BR, then I think you come back here and you give it another go, but otherwise I just don't think it's worth it. So here, yeah, I'm actually dying faster than I usually do because I didn't pot up. But if I went ahead and use some fancier scrolls, so at the moment my battle oracle's at 16 million BR, and if I use, alright, man, it has been really pretty laggy lately. And I'm, you know, I have a very powerful computer. It should not be the computer's problem or my internet whatsoever. Earlier I used these T's and stuff, and I got my my Battle Oracle BR all the way up to like 17 million. And here I can probably use some smaller stuff. So let me just try this. 'Cause, you know, it's much easier to buy up scrolls than it is the T's and stuff. So this is this thing. Okay, so this, obviously it updated my BR fine. It just sometimes takes a little bit to update this kid BR, and it really annoys me. I assure you guys that my kid BR has improved, but sometimes it just takes a while to get it to update. Why does it do this every single time? Still nothing. Maybe if I rest it and then set as main and put the Sylph back on. Yeah, okay, so now it's at 16.7 million BR. And so that's obviously an increase, an improvement on the stats. I don't know why. It definitely does update the actual you know, potency of your kid once you pot up, but for whatever reason it's much better about updating your hero BR immediately than it is about updating your kid's BR. So don't be alarmed if it looks like potting up didn't work. It's just because the game is really weird about updating your kid's BR. So I'll do this one more time to sort of again go over you know, the you know, general strategy. If you try and put multiple heals here, you know, I know that's appealing to people. I know people like Centauria and stuff. I love that personally as a mage for PvP and stuff, by all means. But I think in this context, because the bosses are eventually going to buff up, you have to concern yourself more with dealing AoE damage and, you know, just like high DPS as quickly as you possibly can, and not fuss too much about being healthy. So you don't want to heal to the point where you don't even have enough room to contain the entire heal, put it that way. One more go of it. I don't think I'm going to try this tomorrow, which is why I made this video. I was like, I'm not going to be up for this tomorrow, but today I put so much effort into trying to level this up. It really is a grind, by all means, getting those 17 levels was a pain. So I think this is just where I'm gonna leave it. Alright, see if we can manage this Delphic. Without dying. The problem about level 17 is there was a bunch of bosses that that had deflex, and so I was just losing a lot of health, and yeah, I was really struggling with that one. And here it feels easier, like it feels like I should be able to beat it, but then I just end up a tiny bit short because of Yaros. Come on. Alright, so I'm sort of where I was at before, you know, being able to beat the other bosses, but not Yaros, which is... sort of feels like, you know, when you're first playing the game way back when Yaros was like a scary boss and you're like level 30 dungeon or something like that. So yeah, I just haven't been able to beat him. You know, when I used the T's and stuff like that, I was doing a little bit better, and you know, getting to the point where he was like just had like a hair of HP. But yeah, that's Endless Abyss. I just wanted to note a couple of things for, you know, improving your Eudemons BR and things like that. Definitely use one that has AoEs. You know, once you get to the point where you're 1 versus 4, you just need to be able to dole out the damage as much as possible. I mean, the heals help to a certain extent, but, you know, a Battle Oracle isn't the best for DPS, so I think that Wind Ranger might be a good option, or maybe even Sacred Hunter. If you have a good Hunter, that might be something that would work out. But yeah, until we, you know, I don't think anybody has these willpower Eudemons yet, so until we get to this point where, well, other than on the test server, so until we get these, you know, you're just gonna have to make do. One thing that I will note, just my little end thing on the patch, in case I don't do any more videos for a while, is that, you know, when they put out stuff like that, they usually don't give us the best ones first. You know, I was looking at the skills for these willpower kids, and it just doesn't look like they're that good. I'm not seeing a lot of heals. I see here and there some stuff to increase the damage you deal, but it's not super impressive. So I think the main thing here is that these two are just going to be higher BR and more powerful than the Eudemons that we have, but we still have 5 more of these to go, right? So we only have 4 Eudemons that can be used for this, right? 2 each, you know, Battle Oracle and Sacred Knight, and then the Hunter and the Scourge Mage. So we have 3 other combinations that are going to be here, and my guess is that some of them are going to be better than Void Emissary and the Angel of Light. You know, I'm just not super impressed with them yet, and so yeah, I mean, they never gave us the best sylphs, you know, like right off the bat, right? We were like, oh, you know, Pan is so like tolerably good, right, back in the day, and you know, we had Iris and stuff, and then it took a really long time in order to get Dark Sylphs and stuff like that. So yeah, it's I would definitely just be patient. I don't think you need one of these immediately. Just do your best in Endless Abyss, and I would just save up these materials and see, you know, which one of these you're gonna want to make in the future. You know, just take your time with everything. So yeah, I guess that's all I have for Endless Abyss, and just do the best you can, you guys. And if you guys are stumbling or whatever, or have some other tips for things that people will be useful to people, definitely add those in the comments and share around so that everybody will know. But yeah, so if there's other things that I see for the new patch that I think will be helpful, I'll try and get guides out about those. But otherwise, you know, I just won't be doing quite as many videos or as regularly as I have. So thanks for watching, you guys. Take care and have a very good day.